Hi, recently a friend of mine came to me and told me that his grandmother had passed away and she had some money in her bank account. Unfortunately, she did not have a nominee and she also did not leave a will. And that is the reason why she was not able to, that's the reason why they were not able to collect the money. Now, probably you may not have come across such a situation in your life, but I have come across many people who are quite active in the realm of personal finance. They have ticked all the dots and crossed all the T's, and yet when you look at their parents or their elderly relatives, it's a different story altogether. And today I will be talking to you about the importance of filling the nomination facility in various investments that we have, be it a bank, be it a mutual fund or a demat account. Now, the purpose of having these nominations is to safeguard. It's like the stepney tire. Should something happen to the main tire, there is a stepney tire to take care of you and get you home safe. In the same way, when we invest in different aspects, different kinds of assets, many of them have a provision for adding a nominee. I would like you to go back and check and see if all the accounts of your senior relatives and parents, they have a nominee. Probably somebody's mother, in somebody's mother's bank account, maybe a father, maybe their father's name is, maybe their husband's name is written. And if the husband is no longer there, then it is important that you update it with one of their sons or daughters as nominees, so that in the case of a person passing away, the proceeds of that person's account can be transferred to the nominee. Many times when people take an insurance policy as they join the workforce, very often people put the names of their parents as the nominees. And after some time, when they get married, most often they forget to update and change it from their parents to their spouses. Take this as a wake-up call and see whether all your accounts have the appropriate nominees filled in. It doesn't cost you anything to have a nominee in your accounts, but not having it would one day prove to be extremely costly, and also you will find that the complications, the different levels of documentation. If, for example, you think it's something very simple, please check with your colleagues and friends and see if any of them had a challenge in getting the shares transferred or the mutual funds transferred or getting the land transferred, because there was neither a nominee nor was there a will. So these are small things if you look at it, yet when you look at the amount of money, amount of headaches that are involved in getting it, I would suggest you to have a look at this aspect and rectify it. If you have multiple bank accounts which you are not using, the best thing is to go close it down. You may have lockers which you have not emptied, you have not closed, but you are just keeping on paying a rental without anything of value being there. So look around and do a financial spring cleaning. Close all accounts that are not necessary, and what is necessary, make sure that is updated. Now there is a very important aspect which I would like to speak, and probably I may even make a detailed video on that. If you go around your place where you stay, you may find empty plots, and the plots have been empty for the last 20-30 years, and you often wonder who could be the owner of that plot, whereas all the other plots have had buildings come up. You see that this dilapidated plot with a lot of shrubs that have overgrown it are there. Now the chances are somebody bought that land maybe 20-30 years, and like in many of the Indian cases, I say Indian cases because I am an Indian and I feel that I have more idea of how people think here. Investments is something which is predominantly kept away from women in majority of the households. Investment decisions is always a patriarchal kind of a society. But what really happens is, if a person is investing for the sake of the family and the family is not aware, and if that person passes away without having sufficient time to share what all that person has invested in, where all they have properties, where all they have flats, insurance policies, term insurance policies, mutual funds, stocks, who all they have lent money to, where all they have invested in. It is a very difficult time for a family when they have lost their main breadwinner, and at the same time they have no idea about the investments, and equally they have no idea about if that person has borrowed some money from somebody else, and suddenly you have some person who comes and says, no, we had lent so much money and this was to be returned, and probably the person who is coming has documents which you have never seen before. So my suggestion is, your personal finance, your money is your own personal responsibility, and it's very important that you inform all your stakeholders. Probably at certain stage it may not be appropriate to tell the children when they are growing up, but at least with your spouse, make sure that both of you are aware of what are your assets, where they are, and what are your liabilities. It could be a lot of WhatsApp forwards are there, what the family must know, what's your policy numbers, Aadhaar card, PAN card numbers, bank account details, where you have fixed deposit, where you have a recurring deposit, all these things. And while I am positive you would have seen a lot more sharper, better videos on this topic, if you don't judge this video by the quality of the video, but by the quality of information that I am sharing, this one single video could save you lakhs and lakhs of rupees from going waste. Start today, find out what are the assets that you have, what are the assets your parents have. Make sure a proper spring cleaning is done and a proper account is maintained. I'll make a separate video later. This is still one of those experimental videos to see whether I'm able to make a video on it's more of trial and error for me on this formats and things, and I'm sure even in this you will be able to get some priceless information.